again. Today I wanted to make another video relating to my characters, and today we're going to talk about Elandria and Scarlet, with sound effects by Lola, my snoring bulldog, in the background. Continuous whoopee cushion. But Elandria and Scarlet are two, they're Lilycat Ceristal sculpts. Scarlet is a Constantine, that purple gray skin tone color. It's a really beautiful resin. And then Elandria, who is a blue skin ombre. Those are their sculpts. They're the race. They're both of the race of deer people. So basically, the children of Danu. So technically, they're all related, but the same way that we as humans are all related. So they're of the same breed or race of deer people, fae, and Danu is their goddess and creator, essentially. They are both living in Edensphere now. That hasn't always been the case. Edensphere, I need to go into more detail at some point about what Edensphere actually is, but I'll just say at this point it's a sanctuary for Danu's line to retreat to. It is a realm of fairy. But so Elandria's story is a bit complicated. Elandria is one of my older characters. She is the mother of Herla, and Herla is probably she is the oldest of my characters in this story, so a lot of the things developed around Herla, who her sculpt will hopefully be arriving December. Well, this is December now. I bet you it's going to be January. I bet you. Elandria she's actually Herla's mother. And the original kind of story there that happened was Elandria and her mate, who his name was Amergen. Elandria essentially abandoned her husband and child because of her fae nature. Amergen is not a fae, we'll say that. But Elandria is of the deer people line, and she got swept up into the wild hunt. So, which I'll go at some point. I need to talk about that. But it was something. It's one of the. She was able to plan a little bit. So the abandonment was. She was trying to do the best she could because she knew what was going to happen. Herla was put into the care of Woden, who someday I'll talk about him. He doesn't have a sculpt at this point, but Woden was a powerful fae who took Herla and raised her and protected her from the wild hunt. But she had to be removed from Amergen. So Amergen lost his wife and his child, and didn't really get to find why all that happened. Elandria has been in Edensphere for some time. Time moves differently in this fairy realm. She's been here for a very long time. Probably, I would say 500 years that she's been in Edensphere, and Danu is looking for Amergen to reunite him with Elandria, but it's been 500 years, and Elandria has moved on at this stage. Emotionally, she's had to let that go, and the hope that she would be reunited with Amergen she assumes he's probably dead by this point, and that he won't be found and they won't be reunited, because he's not a fae, and wouldn't have the long lifespan that they do. But time does move differently in fairies, so that's going to cause some problems. But so Scarlet would is also an arrival to Edensphere from outside. Her history is that she is her magic is sewing and weaving. She has a pair of magic shears, and which can double as a sword sometimes. But her magic is cutting cloth, essentially, and sewing beautiful things that are also imbued with her magic. And fairy magic is not always predictable, sometimes has a mind of its own, and so the things that she makes sometimes make difficulties for their wearers. The clothes can become jealous. Oh, Lola is snowing so loud. The clothes can become jealous. They can cause problems for their wearers. They can also protect them, so that her clothes were sought after, and she actually became the seamstress to a human king. That this was probably at some point in the past, in the Middle Ages in Europe. She became the seamstress to a king, and kind of unwilling. She didn't want to do it, because she knew that her clothes could be problematic, but kind of forced into the situation, and as she knew what was going to happen, things went wrong, and she was tried as a witch, and she was going to be burned at the stake. She escaped. Maybe Danu had something to do with that. Maybe she rescued Scarlet and brought her to Edensphere, because Danu has been collecting her line. She's through space and time. She is collecting her line, and we don't quite know what the purpose of that is, but she is going and she's doing that. So probably Scarlet was meant to die at that point, but Danu stepped in and removed her. So Scarlet she's here now in Edensphere. Elandria has been here for 500 years. She has become a very reclusive and sad being. And Scarlet's personality, Scarlet's very strong-willed, and she's used to having to protect herself. So she's a much more, she's tough. She's a tough lady. But long story short, because I'm running out of time, Elandria and Scarlet have formed a relationship, and at this point they are probably a couple, and they actually try to hide it, because Danu, who is the goddess of this realm, would not approve. She expects Elandria to wait for Amergin. Time is nothing to Danu. It's a flicker of a candle. So she does not understand that, it's been 500 years for Elandria, and she thinks that Amergin is dead. But Danu would not approve of this relationship. So Scarlet and Elandria hide their relationship. They have to. I don't think it's as secret as they think, though. The pixies like to spy on them, and the pixies like to gossip. They're an interesting pair. I think that having Scarlet in her life, it's helped Elandria to start to feel joy again, to be interested in the things that are around her. She's still very, if things are going on or going wrong, she becomes very reclusive. And she has, Elandria's, one of her powers, or her magics, is controlling plants. Which is probably something to do with Herla being an herbalist. But Elandria can control plants to some extent, and she has retreated to basically into a nest of thorns. She'll make herself like a house, basically just curl up and make a house of thorns that no one can get through. But Scarlet won't put up with that, and she cuts through them with her magic shears. So the thing that's going to happen though, at some point I will get a sculpt for Amergen, who is Elandria's long lost husband. Danu will find him and bring him back to Edensphere. And then there will be difficulties, but that should be interesting. So, alright, it's been 11 minutes and Lola is snoring louder and louder. I'm going to call it quits here. Thanks for watching. Always appreciate questions and comments, any interest in my characters and dolls. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Thank you.